Sam Bivalent 01, what second-year or younger quarterbacks would you trade Kirk Cousins for right now?
Go ahead.
We have
you
enough
want,
time?
You can,
all of them?
You can go. Go ahead.
Any
you
of
go,
them?
because it's a Kirk Cousins. He's your favorite quarterback. The Minnesota
I mean,
Vikings.
It's so broad.
I know.
Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Mac
right?
Jones?
Trey Lance? Yes.
Okay.
Mac Jones? Yes. I mean, I would. I mean, all of them. I'm ready for Kellen Mond to take over. Although I still believe that there's a chance that Kirk is going to be a lot better this year with Kevin O'Connell. But yeah, these second-year quarterbacks, there's plenty of good ones out there, and we still don't know how good they're going to be. And the ceiling can be higher than the ceiling that Kirk Cousins has been banging his head against for 7 years.
Yeah, I get that. They all have more potential for sure than Kirk Cousins, but damn, he's good. I'm going to just the ones we know about right now, or at least that I feel confident about. Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, and again, I'm a Zach Wilson guy. So those three right there I would trade for sure. You know, the other ones, hey, Trey Lance, I understand his greatest potential is way bigger than Kirk Cousins, but I got to see it a little first before I just, throw that out there.
I wouldn't trade him for Kenny Pickett because we just don't know enough about Pickett yet,
right.
Although he was pretty damn good on Saturday night.
Was.
He has moved up to number 2. He's getting second-team reps. I don't know if he's officially number 2 yet, but they say that was part of the plan. And that's the progression. You put him at 3, make him earn it.
Yeah.
And he should. I said a couple of weeks ago on radio in Pittsburgh, and they acted like it was some big revelation, like it's some hot take. If he can't beat out Mason Rudolph, you shouldn't have drafted him. I don't think that's all that controversial of a statement. You're using the 20th overall pick in the draft on a guy, and if he can't beat out Mason Rudolph, you shouldn't have taken him, and he's in the process of moving his way up the ladder. All right, Whitediculous is the Twitter handle. Which team in the NFC is going to be the biggest threat to the Rams repeating as champions? Who's the biggest threat?
Well,
the Bucs, somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, I look at there's 3 teams here, so let's have an intelligent conversation, at least in my opinion. I mean,
that would be a break from our usual.
That would be Dumb and Dumber over here. Bucs, the Niners, the Eagles. I look at those 3 teams and just go, I don't see really any weak spots on their roster. I know we have the Eagles and 49ers, the quarterback questions to a degree, but they're not big enough to me to where I just go, oh, they'll be 8-8 now or 8-9 because of these quarterbacks. It's just like, will they get their footing underneath them and be good enough to where they're a 1 or a 2 seed, or will it take a little while and they're going to be a 4 or 5 seed? And those are the 3 teams that really pop to me.
I agree with you on the 49ers. Look, if Trey Lance is the real deal, I can see the 49ers take over the division this year.
Agreed. I agree. There's some things I question in that division a little bit this year, other than the 49ers.
It's so difficult as a new season approaches. We get overly caught up in how the last season ended, and we know that there's going to be significant turnover in the postseason field, in the division champions, but it's hard to break from the status quo. And could the 49ers easily win that division? Absolutely. What about the Packers? You didn't mention the Packers. You're gonna get a nasty text from Aaron Rodgers.
Well, I'd like to see them and their offense and what that's going to look like. They're to me not quite in the class of those 3 teams we just talked about. Aaron Rodgers closes the gap, but like our man Rodney Harrison said at the Hall of Fame game, I think there is potential for them to maybe be a really dominant defensive football team. Joe Barry's a really damn good defensive coordinator, and then Jair Alexander being back, and then you add in the 2 Georgia guys that were, I think, insane prospects. Devontae Wyatt had some off-the-field problems. I think he was a top 10 pick for my money. And then you add that with the linebacker Quay Walker. I could see them being that way, but I guess my questions at the receiver and all that, and can they answer the bell again? For another year. I guess there's a part of me that's just not as bullish on them maybe as the rest of the world is.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be a challenge for them. 2 straight years as the 1 seed, 2 straight disappointing playoff performances. If they are the 1 seed, though, and the Rams have to go to Lambeau Field, that's a huge impediment
100%.
to the Rams' ability to get to the Super Bowl, although better off with Matthew Stafford going to Green Bay than Jared Goff going to Green Bay. I'm going to skip ahead to this question from the PFT PM Posse because I want to make sure folks understand how the timeline worked. The question is, how were the Dolphins in play for both Deshaun Watson and Tom Brady at the same time? They weren't. Deshaun Watson was their obsession last offseason and through the trade deadline. The Brady stuff happened after the season, after they decided to move on from Brian Flores, presuming they could get Sean Payton, if that's how the timeline worked. Again,
even at the end of New England that time too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's sandwiched Watson.
Right.
It was they wanted Brady 2019, 2020. Okay, they don't get him. He goes to Tampa. They get Tua. Going into 21, Watson wants out of Houston. We want Watson.
Right.
The Watson thing closes because he couldn't get all of his cases settled, or the Dolphins would have traded for him last year. They pivot back to Brady. So I know a lot's gone on, and it's confusing because the Dolphins seemingly want everyone but the guy they have. But it was Brady, Watson, Brady.
Yes, right. Yeah, you're exactly right. I know it's. I think people get confused there a little bit, but come on, PFT PM Posse. You should know that.
Are you
should
not
be
watching
listening.
the show?
Come on, how dare what kind of posse are you if you're not watching us all the time?
I think the guy who runs the account likes to partake in some of the activities that you're currly refaining from.
Man,
I think that may be.
Oh well, he's brilliant. He must be a really smart guy. I like that guy actually. I take everything I said back.
How about this one? Paul Fitz Dos. Do you think a separate area for first ballot Hall of Famers would be sufficient to mollify Deion Sanders and address the watering down of the Hall of Fame? And look, at some point they're going to have too many busts for that room. At some point they're going to have to bust out another room for the busts, and maybe that's how you do it. You've got the standard, and then you get the premium level. I could see that happening at some point.
I got no issue with that. I think that's a pretty good idea by Paul Fitz Dos or whatever the hell his name is. I like that. I do. I think there's a few first ballot Hall of Famers every now and then where I go, what? That he shouldn't be a first ballot Hall of Famer. So I don't know if that necessarily classifies all of it, but it would be a big step. And again, like we said yesterday, I do think that Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White, Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, Deion Sanders, those type of players, they should be in their own department. They are in the Hall of Fame of the Hall of Fame, in my opinion.
I like your idea of the gold jacket literally made out of gold, where
Let's do it.
I guess you have to slip your body into it because it's not like anybody can
kind
put
of
it over
crusty
your
and hard,
right? You got it, yeah. All right, real quickly before we break, Tyler Hergert asked a question, and this is an easy answer. He asked, should the NFL bring back NFL Europe rather than expanding or relocating one or two teams to London? It's apples and oranges. The NFL would have NFL Europe if it could make money off of it. They got rid of it because they were losing money. They don't care about having a developmental league because it's a zero-sum game. There's always going to be 53 guys on a roster. If they could make money off of it, they would do it. That's separate and apart from putting teams in London. That's the big show. So one of these days, I think they'll have a minor league, America or elsewhere, if they can profit from it. That's when they'll do it. We'll take a break. We'll wrap up this Tuesday edition of PFT Live right after this.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.